welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris Mann.
I'm Christopher Hughes.
And I'm Bobby Trippett.
And today we're going to be talking about 1986's Hell Squad.
Quick, run a bath.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky got no real poetry.
Hello, pizza man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
You could have been decent once in a while. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creepy.
So guys, Hell Squad.
Oh boy.
Now this is a rate and review request from our good friend Randy Porter. You can see all of Randy's great information on pretty much every episode that we do on our Facebook. Randy is a wealth of information when it comes to the grindhouse or exploitation genre. He knows so much more than any of us with all sorts of random actor facts and movies.
The man's a wizard.
He's the venerable wellspring of any kind of knowledge you could ever want.
And he has sent us this movie, Hell Squad, which we went through hell getting on the show, as I said.
Yeah.
I ordered a DVD from Amazon. It ended up being a bootleg that would not play, but we somehow got our hands on a copy of it. So if you want to watch Hell Squad, good fucking luck.
Well, you can't.
This is a hard one to find, but we'll find out whether it's worth searching down or not.
So a straight-to-video movie was hard to find?
Oh, yeah, well... Yeah, I don't think this was theatrically released, but there is very, very little information known about this movie. It basically has no Wikipedia page and very little information on the IMDb. However, I did collect a few choice facts about this movie and the director that I think you guys are going to enjoy quite a bit, because I think we might have found the real-life Mr. Crown.
Wow. I actually thought that the whole time we were watching this.
Man, when we go into his background, it definitely sounds like a guy we know very well. All right, guys, before we get into it today, let's take a listen to the trailer.
To combat international terrorism in every corner of the globe, the United States forms a tactical hit team known as the Hell Squad.
It'll take more than some TNA. It'll be tough and dangerous.
Developing their bodies to the ultimate in physical perfection,
Commence firing!
We'll be there ready for battle.
the Hell Squad becomes the dirtiest dozen of them all. These girls make killing thrilling, attacking a power-hungry sheik hell-bent on ruling the world.
Can't cut your tongue.
When the Suicide Squad is unleashed, all hell breaks loose. 38 caliber kittens spitting death as they claw their way through hell.
Let's go!
Nothing could stop these curvaceous commandos. Not guns, not tanks, not men.
I've got him in my sights.
Make a big bang.
Hell Squad, the ultimate female fighting machine.
Writer, director, and producer, Kenneth Hartford. Now, that's not what he credits himself as, and we'll get into it. He doesn't have many credits, only 4 directing, 6 writing, and 6 producing. He got his start by being an associate producer and a writer for one episode of a show called 13 Demon Street in 1959.
I'm intrigued.
This was a horror anthology series like The Twilight Zone, and it was hosted by Lon Chaney Jr. He then went and produced a movie in 1961 that was sort of that TV show as a movie. It was 3 different stories in it, kind of like The Twilight Zone, and it also starred Lon Chaney Jr. It was called The Devil's Messengers. In 1962, he directed and he also wrote a movie called Daughter of the Sun God. He didn't direct another movie until 1978 called The Lucifer Complex, which starred Robert Vaughn as an intelligent agent who discovers a Nazi plot to revive the Third Reich using clones. In 1980, he wrote and directed a movie called Monster. Now, no, it's not about a female serial killer. It's about a sea serpent who attacks a small Colombian village.
Clever title.
Now, there's a very interesting story about him, quote, directing this movie. It was originally started in 1971, but it wasn't finished filming until 1979 due to financial difficulties. Here's from the IMDb. Although producer Kenneth Hartford received directorial credit, in an interview with Tom Weaver, cast member Anthony Isley said Hartford had very little to do with it. Very little to do with it.
He wasn't giving directions?
Herbert, listen to this. Herbert L. Strock directed everything. This is a direct quote. Then later, Hartford shot a couple scenes in Griffith Park with his kids and claims to have directed it.
That's all you have to do?
So at some point he's like, we just gonna finish this motherfucker. Let's go out to the park, we'll film a couple scenes.
Wow.
There we go.
That's so Dangerous Men of him, too. It's like a John Rad thing.
Could you see him in the editing room? He goes, I really think this makes the movie. And in fact, I think I'm gonna say I directed this movie because this is me now. I produced it.
You know what? Do something.
Yeah, come at me, Herbert. Hell Squad is the last movie he ever wrote or directed, though.
Well, because where do you go from there?
I don't know. There's no information about where he is now.
He set everything down. Now he wanders the earth.
I think maybe the mob caught up to him.
No way.
I think at some point.
An actual Hell Squad rolled up?
At some point, those debts were due,
Yeah.
And he disappeared from the face of the earth. There's some writer conflicts on this movie. Oh, just like
surprise!
Just like you'd expect. Okay, this is from IMDb Trivia. Screenwriter Donald Glut, who's not credited at all in this movie, wrote the film screenplay, but withheld the last third from the producer, Kenneth Hartford, Kenneth Hertz, as he's credited, because he wasn't paid.
That's why we got such a great ending to this movie.
Rather than pay, Hartford opted to write his own ending.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Which explains why the film's half hour is so bizarre, the last half hour.
Oh, my
That's
God.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So did you notice that at some point the movie just changes into like...
Scooby-Doo?
Yeah,
Scooby-Doo.
like, where the fuck are we going with
Unquestionably
this?
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, well, that's good old Ken. So...
Thank you, Ken.
Now the cast, mostly nobodies. However... There is somebody in this cast who I'm sure he was real happy that this was his last movie. It's a real Raul Julia situation. Like being in Street Fighter, for this guy. Yeah. It's a real one.
Going out on a high note?
Yeah. It's a real John Candy with Wagons East type of thing.
Oh, God. Don't bring that up. Rest in peace.
This episode's about to get somber.
Yeah.
Bainbridge Scott, who played Jan, only 4 credits. This was her first movie. 1987, a movie called The Man Killers. 1988, Death Chase. And then 1993 and 94, she was in 2 episodes of Murder, She Wrote before she just hung it up and said, it's not for me. Tina Letterman, who plays Tina, who I don't even know. I wrote this down before the movie. I don't know who that is.
Which one's Tina?
I only knew Jan, and then I picked one girl out that never took off her shoes when she jumped in the pool. And I followed her story for the rest of this movie.
Oh, yeah?
Because it creeped me out. Like she's fully clothed and jumped in the pool with her shoes on, everything, and then it's normal.
You haven't done that before?
No, not like hanging out at a pool party.
I was real disappointed that they didn't bring one girl along because I thought there could have been multiple comic occurrences with her. She couldn't hold a gun. She's not physically able to.
No.
They should have brought her along because it was like, oh, really? We're gonna ruin the comedic possibilities of this character. Like her getting in all sorts of literal jams. Like,
you
it would have
talking
been great.
about Tits McGee?
Yeah.
I mean, certainly there could have been a terrorist with binoculars, right? Could have done that gag a couple more times.
I wanted to see maybe her like using him to drive the car. I mean,
Here's what would have been funny if like the terrorist like looking at her with binoculars and he's got a rocket launcher and the rocket launcher scope like it's really, really long.
Fires prematurely.
Yeah.
I could have seen her like catching a grenade in those things. I mean, all sorts of things.
And it explodes. It just contains like an explosion. Like kind of bounces around a bit.
Shirt just expands for a second.
So I didn't write down the businessman, as I call him. I don't know his real name. What is it, Jeff or something?
Well, is that the assistant?
The businessman. He's like the guy who sets up the whole thing. I just call him business.
Oh,
guy.
Yeah, that's the assistant.
Oh,
yeah.
The assistant who sets up the Hell Squad? That's Jim.
Like,
Okay, Jim. I didn't write down his credits because I did all this before. I probably should have, but I looked him up briefly, and he's just done a few things with this director, so he was like his go-to guy. But I did write down. Now this is his last movie. Marvin Miller, who plays the Sheik. Yes, a man in brown face. Yep. 154 credits.
Wow.
He is probably most well known for his Grammy Award-winning recordings of all the Dr. Seuss stories.
What?
That guy did those, huh?
Oh, wow.
Oh, the places he'll go.
Oh, he was also known for being on a show in 1955 called The Millionaire, where he was Michael Anthony, the man who passed out a weekly check. That's what it said as his role. He was on 206 episodes.
He was
of that
essentially
show.
the banker.
So I guess,
The
I guess he
mysterious
shows up and goes,
banker
"Here you go, Mr. Millionaire. Here's your check." I guess that's it. Unless it's like some sort of game show or something.
He would just walk on stage with an oversized check.
Best walk on ever.
I'm not sure what it is. So
That's a good gig. How do
Hell
I
yeah.
get that?
Hell yeah.
If there's anybody out there, Randy, can you please tell us if you know anything about that?
Because I have a feeling he does.
We'd like to know. He also did a ton of voice acting, including being the narrator on the Pink Panther cartoon in 1969, and he was also in a bunch of episodes of Mr. Magoo. This was unfortunately his last role. He passed away in 1985 before this movie was even released.
Oh, he couldn't make it to the premiere.
He never got to see it?
Either that or that tiger got him. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure he would have showed up to the premiere. He's like, "Oh, that movie I had oh God, no. I thought that was some guy's. I didn't think that was actually coming out. I thought that was going to some guy's basement." Holy shit. William Bryant, who plays the nightclub owner, who's probably my favorite character in this movie, 230 credits. What? He is a character actor who's been around for generations. He also did a lot of voice acting. He's most well known for his recurring role in General Hospital during the 70s as Lamont Corton No. 2. Now, I looked up the IMDb. Now, get this. I looked up the IMDb, right? And it says anything like before 1980, they don't know how many episodes each person did, so it just says unknown.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, there's no Lamont Corton No. 1. So I'm like, wait, okay, so he was obviously the second for something.
Perhaps he was pooping.
I have no idea. He's the only one with like a number next to his name, so that's all I got.
Wow.
Real slim pickings for this movie. It's a real enigma.
That was a lot more than I think you would have for this kind of movie.
Honestly. Yeah.
I dug deep. I mean, this was a deep dive into the bin. We had just finished a movie, The Manhandlers, that we thought had little information. This has even less, So we start, guys, with a neutron bomb going off.
Yeah, the ultra neutron bomb.
Or like the stock footage from the U.S. military circa 1965.
Seems like there's a lot of stock footage in this movie.
Oh,
that
yeah.
might be a running theme.
Yeah.
There's stock footage and stolen footage.
And stock paintings that you zoom in on.
There's a lot of stock everything, I guess, in this movie. So we see this neutron bomb going off. We think this will somehow come into play. But does it really, guys?
Never.
Yeah,
No.
not really. I mean, maybe a little bit. But for some reason, we cut to guys in radiation suits checking an area, and there's like shackles and stuff.
And like four clean horseshoes sitting on the ground.
And they're like, where'd the horses go? Where'd the elephants? They must have disappeared into the atmosphere.
This is a real Wonka vision situation.
This set the tone for the movie because this line delivery will be the best line delivery of the rest of the movie.
Oh,
and
it
was
was bad.
It's downhill from there.
horrible.
Oh, I was laughing so hard at this first scene. I'm like, oh, it's one of these movies.
Get this, a cow. And on that last steak was a horse. What in the hell happened to them?
Just disappeared into the atmosphere. Can you dig this? A complete elephant wiped out.
That'll sure add to the smog up there.
What are they trying to prove with this new bomb?
That they can destroy humanity but leave the buildings.
Maybe we can sell the idea to a paint commercial. The entire race wiped out, but Chevron paint didn't even peel.
Let's get back to the base. We're not supposed to be spending more than 15 minutes in this radiation.
So this movie starts with an atomic bomb going off and then people inspecting what the damage was and the building staying. Then they start telling jokes about paint peeling. You have no idea what's going on with this movie. I thought it was a war movie, and it turns out to be like this very preachy, like
preachy.
I thought it was pretty.
I would
preachy.
not have used that word. I'm very interested to where you're going with this, Hughes.
They were talking about how why do we need a bomb that kills everybody, leaves the buildings and stuff like that, and they bring it up multiple times in this movie.
Chris
in the
Hughes,
first
pro ultra neutron bomb.
They're just trying to illustrate the destructiveness of it and how why it was critical that this does not get to the terrorist hands. I guess they're trying to use it like a story device leverage to make you care. I did not.
It only lasted 5 minutes of the movie, and we never talk about it again.
Yeah.
So you're hoping when we drop the inevitable bomb there on North Korea, we'll use the neutron so we can just go into Pyongyang and it will be just like it is now. Nobody's there. And then we cut to somewhere where I just write in my notes, where are we? Because it looks to me like we've just zoomed in on some sort of either model train set that somebody has in their basement with houses on a hill, or this is some sort of city. Do you know where we're supposed to be?
Some desert. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was this the father-son office?
Yeah, but it just shows the outside of it, which is in...
It looked like Irvine for a second.
Pretty sure it was.
They probably did.
Irvine on top, if it was on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
It's a very...
There's a part of Irvine that's up on a hill.
Yeah.
At some point, we learned that we're in Syria, like the border of Syria.
Yeah.
And I wrote in my notes at that point, I said, like, oh, please do not let Trump see this movie, because this, I don't want him to get ideas on this is how we could possibly deal with Assad, but maybe. By the end of it, maybe it will work, you know?
We found that second movie that he had on Air Force One.
That's why we can't find a copy.
Yeah, there you go.
Love to walk in on the president.
They call that a
Hell
callback.
Squad.
And thanks to Hughes, who's just called back to an episode we haven't released yet, you son of a bitch.
Good thing we didn't talk about
Cocksucker.
You just neutron bombed this entire episode.
So we're in some sort of train set of a city, and we go into this office with an ambassador and his son. And I read at this point, the acting and the dialogue in this movie, we're going to drop some clips in.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, this is dangerous men level bad.
I mean, this is like not even college, theater class.
I can't believe they actually did it. I mean, until now, the neutron bomb was just an idea. I just can't believe they actually tested one. And not just anyone, but that goddamn ultra-neutron bomb.
Well, the UN bomb, as the president calls it.
I mean, what kind of sick brain could invent a device that kills all life within a certain radius, but doesn't even singe a newspaper?
People make wars, Jack, not property. Some of us in government positions believe the UN bomb is a blessing.
What happened to you, Dad? You're starting to sound just like those mushheads in Washington.
I don't know what the auditions were like for this.
What audition?
There were auditions.
They had to find the people.
I think that they just were like, this guy looks the part. He'd do it for cheap. Let's get him in here,
Non-union.
All we really care about is the ladies. Yeah. Whether they can act or not, I don't care.
I did a lot of high school and junior college productions that, in hindsight, were pretty good after watching this. I'm like, the acting was pretty solid back then. That 12th grade, man.
I love this, though. He takes his son to the window, right? And this is a running thing in this movie, is that they'll always be looking something that does not match at all what they're looking at.
That felt kind of Monty Python. Where he's like, son, look at this. He's like, what, the curtains?
Yeah.
And they open these curtains and they see these, as I write, white men in what's supposed to be turbans, but they look like Dumbo ears. Like,
yeah, I didn't.
White men in Dumbo ears.
I'm like, I don't think they wrapped them up properly.
No.
Like, I think that, like, hey, wait, what? Wait, how do you wear one of these? You just let the cloth hang, right? So you got like ears and stuff. It's like, no, I think you're supposed to wrap it up, but what do I know? I'm not Syrian.
So wait, instead of Arab, are we using Syrian for the episode?
Oh no, we're using Arab because that's what they call them.
Yeah,
Even though we're supposed to be on the border of Syria, everybody's an Arab.
An Arab.
Also, I think there's a point in this movie where the director thinks that maybe Arab people actually eat sand. We'll get into it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I think that he thinks, well, they got so much of it, they might as well eat. Put that in the script. So that we see these white men in Dumbo ears, I guess, they're just kind of like searching through rubble.
It's just wood scraps,
Yeah.
and they're throwing their hands up repeatedly. It's
Yeah,
like they're
there's-
trying to build like an IKEA cabinet, and they're all pissed about it.
Somebody lost the directions, and they're looking for their goddamn Allen wrench.
Damn it!
And the son's like, "Oh, I'm so upset about this neutron bomb, Father."
He is so obnoxious. I wanted a neutron bomb to land on him.
Yeah. He's like, oh god, worse than Jared Leto in this entire fucking movie.
Like, I became real right wing in this scene. I'm normally pretty liberal, but
You're like,
I was like, you know what?
bomb it,
bomb it all, bomb the world.
And then we find out that his dad, I guess, is some sort of American ambassador, right?
Some diplomat to something.
The son's like, "This stinks to high hell, Dad. I'm going to go back to America and tell him all about this horror." I'm like, "Of what? Wait, the neutron bomb didn't go off here."
And he didn't say horror like that. He said like whore.
Yeah.
Like that whore.
Tell him about that whore,
That
Dad.
whore, Dad. I'm going to tell him all about that whore.
You think I didn't know about that, Dad?
And then
This horror. Like emphasis on like the double R.
yeah, you whore.
The one that's under those wood scraps outside.
And then this secretary with the string on her head walks into the office.
Oh yeah, what was up with that?
She just got back from Coachella.
Yeah.
I was like, do they really think that that's like some sort of like Arab thing, or is she just?
I think
like
it's just a fashion choice.
Yeah.
That's Anne, is it not?
Yeah, is that?
I think that's the name.
Is that the name?
She's secretary, as far as I'm concerned. And the dad asks the secretary. This is how we end that scene. The dad asks the secretary if she's ready to take dictation. She says, "Yes, sir," in a very seductive manner. And then like this thing fades out like a porno is about to start. Like the next scene is nobody has clothes on.
And then the scene fades out, and
Yeah.
I zip back up.
A lot of weird
disappointed.
fades. A lot of weird fades in this movie.
There's
And
so
they
many,
go back
so many
to
great
nothing.
fades.
Yeah.
You know, Hughes, it's funny you say that because at some point in my notes I put every scene is like the start of a porno.
Yeah.
This whole movie is the start
this
of a
entire
porno.
film is an 80s porn, but they forgot to film sex scenes.
Or maybe they did, and then the director's like, you know what? On second thought, take out all the fucking... I'm thinking we actually got 86 minutes of this if we just put more of them driving around doing nothing.
Yeah.
We could make a real movie out of this thing. Do you think at some point he was like, well, I regret my decision. Can we go back to the porn? No? All right. So then we get this shot. Okay, so the son leaves, by the way. And so because I'm not sure what's going on. This movie is definitely filmed in mostly in L.A., but they pretend that they're in another country.
Yeah, was that Olivera Street that he's walking through?
Looked like it.
It looks like the son walks out of a regular office building.
Yeah.
Because you're right, Chris. It does look like we're in
It does.
Irvine.
It really
Once
does.
we get out of the building,
building.
it just looks like a regular office building.
Yeah.
And then this guy gets in like a limo. The son gets in a limo, and the limo driver is just like some guy from Detroit wearing a Tigers hat.
Yeah.
At first, I thought he was a Yankee. Like I thought he was gonna have a New York accent.
Yeah.
Like, hey, where you want to go?
Yeah. What'll it be, Mac?
What a LaGuardia? What? And so they're riding their car through the desert, and then all of a sudden, some terrorists in like a Dodge muscle car.
How long do you think they were waiting on that street too? Like, did they know he was coming down there?
Yeah, and you know what, Chris? How did they get like the Dukes of Hazzard car?
Yeah.
In Syria.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, did we?
They plow into the General Adnan and take off.
Do you think this is like the 8 or the 5 or like the 99 or what freeway are they on? at
Oh,
this
they're
point?
definitely on the way to Palm Springs.
Yeah.
I thought they were like in Calexico or
210.
something.
No,
On the
I was
10.
almost expecting to see one of the windmills behind them.
The
You know, the wind farms.
I
out
want
there.
to see the dinosaurs in the background making an appearance. Like,
This-
kinda,
Look, I was just in the desert over
Yeah.
the weekend. This is clearly that's where they were.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
it looks so much like the desert drive to Palm Springs or Indio. It's ridiculous. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that those are the mountains in the background.
yeah.
It definitely looks like it. And you know what? During that neutron bomb, there was a bunch of Joshua trees, so they might have actually been out there.
Yeah.
Although I guess what? That's much where they actually did a test.
I don't know. How'd they get that elephant there?
This is all going nowhere.
Speaking of Dumbo ears.
So okay.
They're being chased right now, and then the son is like, "We need to go faster." And the driver looks back and says, "Oh, we have no choice if those are your friends behind us." And
Hey, Mac, we ain't got no choice, huh?
Hey, the meat is running. And the music in this scene is more like a scene from Super Friends.
I'm thinking like A-Team. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't quite.
The music in this movie is great. Like,
Yeah.
I personally
I
thought it
loved
was really good.
Was this the original score too?
Oh, really?
Is it?
Was it? I was asking if this was
I
the
don't
original
know.
score.
But, well, they certainly used that one song to death by the end of
Oh,
the movie.
God, yeah.
My God.
So then we see he's just driving around and these terrorists are kind of shooting at him. And then I love this is the Tigers fan. For some reason, he just kind of pulls the car over to the side of the road and then he gets out with a gun.
And there's 3 Arab men with AKs looking at him.
Yeah, they all jump out the window of that generally, and then...
Well, his first mistake, why did he get off the road? Where was he going? And
I don't know, Chris.
Why
He
not just go
se-
straight?
He's just like, well, yeah, I guess this is where it ends. I
always knew.
Those mountains are so far away.
Pops that glove box. He's just like,
Because he's got this, like, teeny little pea shooter gun.
Yeah.
And he just kind of... He doesn't even point it at him. He's just kind of like, wait, what do I... Oh,
Because this is supposed to be like the ambassador's son. This is like, quite a prestigious vehicle that's going to be going around. You think they'd have more security? Because there's little American flags on the front waving. So, like,
It's a motorcade of
Yeah, it's a
sorts.
motorcade.
Yeah, the motorcade just consists of one limo
2
with
flags.
a man in a Tiger's hat.
Yeah.
What? That's not what we have now.
And 2 mini lawn flags.
And so then the credits start, and I was like, this is one of the few movies we've done that has a cold opening. So, all right. Also, the title card for this movie... We are definitely going to put a picture on the Twitter and the Facebook, because this title card is unbelievable.
It's like He-Man.
I mean, this is like a print shop.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you were 5 years old, like kid pics. I feel like you're going to hear that water sound when you erase it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because this thing is just like the most basic gradient. Let's make some letters, throw it up on the screen, white background, Hell Squad.
And have it on for a good, 15 or 20 seconds. Longer than it needs to be on.
Way too long to see all the errors in it. Way too long. I almost, with this movie, though, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was just, they just originally had a title card that they filmed that was all hand-drawn.
Yeah.
Like some guy
I was
just
waiting
done in magic
for this
marker.
title card to have the boom appear. Right over the word hell.
I mean, you get it plenty of other
Oh,
spots.
you do.
Might as well have gotten it there,
Yeah,
too.
it is a full cast member.
And by the way,
yeah, it should have got a credit.
we've introduced a new Grindbin All-Star into this movie, which is the production light.
Yeah.
There's a part where you actually see like a 1K light sitting in a
Absolutely.
room. That is a first for us. We've never actually seen a movie where they so brazenly film a production light.
Honestly, Rudy Ray Moore would have been like, get it together, you guys.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be professionals.
He watches this movie, he's like, come on now. Come on.
I was so happy to see the boom mic. I actually
Yeah.
texted Mike right when I saw him, like, hey, he's back. We haven't had him forever.
My notes have the word boom in all caps. I was also very excited.
But we still, before we get to Mr. Boom making his constant
Grindbin
reappearance-
All-Star Mr. Boom.
He needs
Grindbin
his
All-Star Mr.
card. Yeah.
Boom.
He's going to get a card, too.
We go to this prison, and oh my god, do I love these guys. Probably my next favorite character next to the club owner is these terrorists.
all terrorists in this movie that speak fake Arabic.
Oh, man.
The whole movie.
Oh my god. So they take the son into this prison, and I love... Now, this is also one of my favorite characters of the movie, even though he doesn't say a word, is I wrote, guy having a bad day. So in the prison, there's a pair of chains where they apparently attach the son to, yet they don't attach him to that wall.
No.
Because you could just clearly see the chains not going anywhere, and he's just standing with his hands behind his back. Yeah. And he looks over at this one guy, he's like, hey, how long you been here? Hey. And the guy just, I think he looks at him, right?
He's like,
yeah. And then he just goes, he's just like,
Kill me. Oh, great.
This is the most acting he will do in this movie.
He definitely gives the best performance of the film.
Yeah, he does. The most genuine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How long had this man been here? Oh, fuck, we forgot about... Oh, my God, holy shit.
This is already at the rap party. They just remember they left him there.
In the 5 locations this movie has, I'm sure they chained up this guy overnight. They're like, yeah, there's kind of method, Sorry. So we go to terrorists on the phone, and this is when I realized that this movie is going to be very cheap. I mean, very, very, very cheap. Because as I write, they've decorated this set with a big wicker chair, an old-timey phone that they will reuse, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They will reuse the same phone. And, hey, that was a good phone I got. That's my personal phone from home. Do you think at the end of every day the director was taking it back home? Like unplugging
definitely.
it, bringing it back home?
That thing was getting securely put into a car.
Taking pictures with it.
And then they've put a cheap Persian rug on the wall. They've just attached it to the wall.
Just nailed it to a wall.
And I write, it's probably because it didn't read well on the ground, and they probably paid like $50 for it, and they were gonna get their money's worth.
Which makes it the most expensive prop in the film.
Like, it's literally just thrown against the wall, either blocking out a window or just like, well, fuck, we paid all that money. I mean,
Hey, be careful with it. It's a rental.
if there's one thing I know about these Arabs, is they love their rugs. They love their muscle cars. They love their rugs. I think that I'm sure they had a part where a guy was gonna fly around on a rug, but they just didn't have the budget for it.
That was the big getaway scene.
Yeah.
It was the musical number. What are you talking about?
Yeah, instead of a plane, it was a rug.
Yeah, they
The
had to
Hell
get
Squad all has to look up to the sky.
Yeah.
They actually had to get the Dodge Charger because the crane that they were hanging the rug on was too expensive. They're like, oh fuck, I guess we'll give them a car.
Yeah.
So the guy's on the phone with the dad, right? Well, he's gonna call the dad because the terrorist goes, "This is a call of great urgency. Do not screw it up," which he delivers amazingly.
And you were doing more of an accent than that guy was.
Yeah.
He looks.
This guy's talking like Prince. He's not even.
He could not be more bored with this movie. So then we go to the dad, right? And he's not on the phone yet. But he's telling businessman, right? So business guy, about his son being missing and nobody's contacted them yet. And then the business guy doesn't seem so worried.
Seen it 1,000 times. Man.
Yeah, as I read it,
1,000 times.
He basically says, this isn't the first time or the last that
another one of these
ambassador's kid is gonna be kidnapped. So no worries. Well, maybe we'll get him back. Maybe we won't.
Let's see. Which one am I gonna do to get this one fixed?
And then the phone rings, and the business guy and the dad, they both get on the phone, and now we're on the phone with the terrorists, right? And then they bring the son in the room, and they have him talk to his dad. We come back to the dad, right? And this is the exact quote, and I'm going to read it in best I can is how he says it. What? Do you want? There's that long of a pause. He's like, what do you want? I'm a man of wealth and influence. I'll pay any price to. What? And then the terrorists say they want the formula to the neutron bomb. And I write, well, there goes the son.
Or by Allah, they will return him to his father, organ by organ.
That's right.
And they give him 30 days to get the formula for the neutron bomb. At this point, though, I go, just write anything down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, how do they know what's the formula?
How long is it going to take them to actually try one?
Yeah, to build it, it's going to be R&D to get the scientists to know how to get it done.
Yeah, they're going to be like, wait, where are we going to get uranium?
Yeah.
They're looking down at a newly cooked meatloaf like, shit.
Yeah.
All we got is sand and carpets. That's all we got around here.
It's just a Foreman grill spray painted with a nuclear symbol on it. But that's all.
I like after how this 30-day time period was given, and the dad just basically gives up. He's like, I loved my son, but he's gone.
Yeah.
Well, he's not getting the formula for the neutron bomb, Chris.
Yeah, but
even the business guy's like, well, the government is not going to be able to help you, sir.
Oh, so we spent a minute or two with that kid. I get it.
His direct quote is, well, one thing is certain, we can't meet their demands. And I write, yeah, no shit. I mean, there's no way in hell you're going to meet those demands. But then the business guy, okay, he says, he's like, though, I do got a lot of connections. Don't you remember what I used to do before you hired me? Mm-hmm. And I write, what?
No, we don't.
No, there never gets referenced as what he did before this either.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions.
Apparently he was a pimp.
He ran he stage managed a Vegas show.
I imagine he's like the character in Showgirls.
This movie
the
is
guy
so
who runs
Showgirls.
the Showgirl show?
Yeah.
And he says stuff like, it must be nice not having anybody come on you. I mean, what did he do with these showgirls to then all of a sudden be like, oh, I'm going to apply for this ambassador assistant job over in Syria? This seems like me. The new me. And then he says something like, all right, well, I'll get your son back, but I need to go to Las Vegas. And I write, where on earth is this going? Because this is, I'm not sure where exactly we're going with this movie at this point.
We don't know where we are exactly at this point either.
If you're the ambassador, too, he's just like, all right, I got a plan. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I need you to put me on a plane to Vegas. I'd be like, fuck you. Like, I don't have time for this shit, man.
Do you, okay, this is what I'm wondering. I'm like, okay, is this one of those scenarios where a guy's walking down a hallway with two different scripts and a guy's walking one way, and then the scripts fall together?
Pixar short.
Or the director just gets this, he's like, what the fuck is this story about a bomb? There's no tits in this. How are we going to sell this? I'm filming a porno here.
What we do is we paint the breasts to look like a bomb.
You know what? I got this movie and also some stock footage of Showgirls. Can we somehow mix those together with this movie? Maybe send the broads over, they'll kill some Arabs. Doesn't matter who.
This is going to work. This is a real chocolate and peanut butter situation.
Look, trust me, it'll work. I mean, fuck it, you know?
I just like that this movie was sold as like thirds of a script.
You get the rest.
I could just imagine that conversation where he's like, well, I'm not going to give you the rest of the script. Well, fuck you. I'll write it myself. You think you're the only person that can write a movie about some broads trying to kill Arabs? I got it. And you know what? I'll make it funny, too. And you know what? I'm going to hire that guy from all the Dr. Seuss books, so fuck you. Oh, you don't think I'll put him in brownface, you motherfucker. And no, I will not be paying you. So fuck off. You'll be seeing Hell Squad in a movie theater and or Blockbuster Video near you.
9 years from production.
Do you think just to spite him, he sent a copy of the VHS to his house? And he goes, you'll notice, by the way, I removed your name from the credits. It's not the first nor the last time that I'll do that. Oh, I died. So then we go to Las Vegas, which, Hughes, do you think that this footage was legally shot?
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of scenes where they're going down alleyways of certain, quote, Arab streets, and you can clearly see the windshield reflection of the camera.
When they go to Las Vegas, we see the business guy or a guy, like the back of a man, walking into the hotel, and then the camera just conveniently stops before we get into the casino. Yeah. Like there's a bunch of security guards running, going, no, you can't do that. Try and stop me, we're on public property, fuck you! This is a real mob rules situation.
It is. It's a whole movie. Rules. Syrian rules.
Kid, just run up. Just follow that guy into the hotel. Sir, does he know he's being... Follow that guy into the fucking hotel. Don't get his face. Just follow him in. As soon as you get to the doors, just turn around and run. All right, go. And just push some kid out of a van and just have him walk up. Because this camera is all fucking shaky. There's no light to be seen. There's no audio. This is following a guy from the valet.
With like one of those little 8mm home videos.
Yeah. Like somebody's got it in a backpack.
It's real Blair Witch.
And then we see, okay, now I don't understand is this another scenario where we're going to, like, people are talking about something that they can actually see? Or is it in a different room? Because what we're going to cut to is this bartender, which, by the way, thank God for this guy.
Class act.
Giving it his all.
This bartender, because of his voice and the general look he has, momentarily I thought it was a Stan Lee cameo back in '85, and I started thinking, like, is the Hell Squad a Marvel property?
Yeah, right.
You know what? Like, did they meet the Howling Commandos? Because I need to get that book.
Right.
I thought the same thing. This guy's acting ability is about on par with Stan Lee.
Oh, absolutely.
And he sounds like him, too. It's just him and Jan at a bar, and then we kind of cut to Showgirls in, like, a full theater. And then we cut back, and the bartender's like, the girls look great today, Jan.
Excelsior.
I'm like, wait a second. Are they supposed to be in the same room? Because it is not
No,
matching.
it's not the same room.
Not even close.
Like, we could see the full theater.
The old trick of, put a spotlight in the background towards the lens and have their silhouette so you can't see what's going on behind them. Like, same principle was almost applied.
Yeah, and it almost looks like they went and stole this footage of the Showgirls on stage, because it's just like some weird voyeuristic view, like behind the curtain, like, just go out there. Kid, go out there. Film them a little bit. They won't know. All right, go. We got enough.
But sir, I got roughed up by the guards last time we did this. I'm not allowed back in that casino.
I'll pay for patio medical bills. Hey, that kid's in the hospital. We gotta skip town. Did you get to film? Oh fuck, he's got it with him. Oh shit. We keep cutting between the backstage of this actual theater and the inside of a bar, like it's the same place. And then, because we also see Jan kind of just bobbing her head up and down, like she's acting as all, oh, I see something.
Definitely things happening.
And then three guys in suits walk up.
Yeah.
And you kind of know what's going to happen because Jan is dressed like the blue Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Does she also? I don't think she also has a string on her head, does she? Is this? I didn't. I think she might
did.
actually.
She had something like a.
Maybe it was an
headband.
exercise band.
Yeah, the string on the head was real big in 1986. Whenever this movie was actually filmed, though, which it certainly doesn't look like 1986.
It's like it's the 70s when they
Yeah, this is 1971 is when this started filming.
No, that was another movie he did. I'm sure that this was started to film in the 70s because there's no way this is 1980s. Everything looked so 70s.
Yeah.
It's like he had.
It was a staying alive entrance into the casino.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
absolutely.
So
he ended up making a period piece. It's really well done.
When these guys walk into the bar, they just kind of like start putting their hands all over her, you know? And we don't really know where this is going, but they're like, hey, bartender, take a walk. We want to talk to her. And then she kicks all their asses. And at this point, we don't know what the fuck this is about. But the business guy comes in and he goes, hey, Jan, you passed the test.
I like the line where she goes like,
yeah,
women in power and the weaker sex or something like that.
She's like, she's like, come on, guys, aren't I supposed
to be the weaker sex?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like kicking their ass. But I go, okay, hold on. So the test is supposed to, like, a goon comes up and pretends to rape her?
Just go grab her.
And she survives.
Well, what
That's
happens?
the test.
Like, what happens if she fails the test?
She gets pregnant.
Like, do you think, I'm wondering how far they would have went. Like, if they would have pulled her into a room and everything, or just, they get her pants down and the business guy walks in and goes, up. Jan, I'm sorry you failed.
I mean, is she still breathing?
Let's move on to the next girl.
Yeah.
This guy's got like a handful and he's looking back like, am I supposed to keep going?
Yeah, how far do I take this, boss?
Yeah.
All the way in?
I'm not comfortable doing this.
Yeah.
Did you bring condoms, sir? Oh, okay, full on, bareback, all right.
Yep.
Get in there, kid.
So apparently the business guy and Jan know each other. And because she says, look who showed up back in my life every 2 years like clockwork.
He sends goons to rough her up.
That's what I wrote. I said, does this always start with a potential rape? Like, when that guy touched her, she's like, oh no, not again.
She reacts like that second prisoner. Just.
And then the business guy says something about, hey, I got a way for you and your girls to make more money than you can in Las Vegas. And I'm still wondering, is this going?
If they do this favor for him, is the end of that line. Like that, this is all like being set up very sleazy and just continues to be sleazy. I like it.
It sets up like it's gonna be sleazy and then it pays off.
So we go to a dressing room talking about sleazy, and there's a lot of points in this movie where the camera will just roll for minutes at a time, and we just kind of, I guess, tell the actresses to just run wild, honey, say whatever comes to your mind.
Act naturally, which none of them can do.
Explore it. Let's see what happens.
It's like they're all thinking like, okay, I think I have a joke, and then they'll say it.
But they'll like mess up the first word, like...
They won't fully commit to the joke.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah, they stop
like,
halfway through.
There's some girls who goes, and
stands down.
No. All right, not my turn.
Not today.
I'll get it on the next scene. I'm working on it. She's workshopping her material in these moments.
Just act natural, honey. Act natural, like what girls do in dressing rooms. You know, you get all undressed.
They walk around naked, which, for the record, I've been told that does not happen. To walk around topless, talk to each other casually.
Of course, that's what they would tell you. They don't want you to go in there and see it.
Trust
you
me,
fell for it, man.
Mr. Crown knows what goes on in a woman's dressing room, Chris. Trust me.
He's got the cameras planted.
If you don't think he has like a cheerleaders-esque trap system where he can somehow get his head in a female dressing room, you're wrong. Because he does.
Like it's some taxidermy Mr. Crown thing that he sticks his head through at any given moment.
Yeah, he's actually the bear rug.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to say, by the way, we have a severe lack of bear rugs in our movies since like episode 3.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It was a big running theme, and then now all of a sudden it's disappeared. So we gotta get that back.
We gotta get this show back on track.
Yeah.
Wait, there was. Oh, there should have been one for the babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really missing
Well,
that.
the bear rug's getting its own trading card now as a Grindbin All-Star.
Who's delivering this creepy line?
Which one?
When Jim walks into this.
Well, okay, I did write some of them down. One of the girls says, "Sometimes I think my mom was right. At least if I stayed home, I wouldn't get groped all the time." And another girl goes, "That's for sure."
And another girl goes, "I know how to make money. We all know how to make money, but we have to work for it." And it was like this very like hooker-esque like sell.
But they're all like agreeing. It's very 30 Helens, like a Kids in the Hall sketch. They're all,
Every line is delivered with like almost a question mark at the end. Like, was that okay?
Should I do that again?
No, honey, keep going. Pretend you're like a hooker. I know it's hard, but just pretend like you're a real whore,
This has to be like, this is like what the strippers sound like when they get off their shifts. Like at 4, and this is like they stumble out, and this is probably what the extent of the conversations are like.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Boy, my mom was right. I should have just stayed home. I wouldn't have got groped all the time. Yeah, that's for sure.
You can say that again, sister.
Okay, I love this, though. The business guy walks in, and then total ADR line. You don't even see him. He says, "I have a deal you might be interested in." And this girl, with the most amazing deadpan delivery of all time, we're going to play the line. She goes, "Jeez, what is this, Grand Central Station?"
Yep.
Like, that's about as much effort as she puts into it.
Geez, what is this, Grand Central Station?
Like, it took her a long time to get that out. I mean, this was a 30-take scenario, in my opinion. And this is the best one. All right, so he said, the business guy says, "I'm offering money, fame, and excitement." And I write, well, how would there be fame?
Oh, everyone's going to know about this.
No, where's... Because it's supposed to be like a covert op, then like what, like a... There's going to be a mission accomplished banner over the Golden Nugget.
Oh, there will be. Yeah.
A mission this sensitive can't involve any government agencies.
Yeah.
We can't make sure no one knows. Ladies, do you want to be famous?
Yeah.
I like, he asked if they want to be fame and fortune, and they immediately go, "Are we going to have to like rob something?" Instead of, "Hey, this is a guy recruiting for a porno."
Their mind immediately goes to armed robbery.
Here's your right. Like, they should...
Hey, you guys want to be famous and make a lot of money, and you not wear any clothes?
Yeah, like you're right. None of them ask. Like, wait a second. But he says, "I'm offering $500 a week for trading and $25,000 upon return." And a bunch of the girls apply because one of the girls is like, "Wait, how long will it take me to make $25,000 here?"
God.
And the one girl says, "About 71 weeks."
It's very precise.
It's a long time.
Yeah, I might as well. What are we doing? Is it porno or killing? I don't know. Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
I'd like to save like $25,000 in a year and a half.
No, I think that's their total pay, Hughes.
No, she said, "How much would it take me to make that?"
Yeah,
well, whatever.
You make less than
you would like to make $25,000 in a
save.
year and a half.
I thought she said save. I can make more than 25 in them. Fucking shit.
I'm leaving this all in.
Yes, please leave
all
that
of it
in.
in. So we go to the training camp, okay, or is what's supposed to be a training camp. This scene is incredible. The girls pull up in a van. They're all dressed in the same workout outfit.
They're dressed like
Walmart.
Hooters waitresses.
Yeah.
It's a pallet swapped Hooters
there's like
waitress.
there's gonna be some wings nearby.
They are
beer.
It's like a Hooters shorts and just like a pack of wife beaters they bought for the shoot. No bras allowed.
Same size for everyone, regardless.
Now they're going to training without any sort of upper support for a woman is going to be real tough. I mean, especially for one of these girls who can, like we said, her anatomy doesn't allow her to hold a weapon. I cannot imagine what it's like for her to run like around in this outfit. Like,
climb over that wall.
It's gotta be rough.
And so they pull up in this van, they all pile out, and there's this colonel and a sergeant there.
Mm-hmm.
And the colonel has like some sort of horse whip with him. And he's all pissed about this.
Immediately, he says, "What's the military coming to?"
Yeah.
And then they just kind of like, they have all the girls standing there. They just sort of let the camera roll for a little bit until one of them decides to say a line. It's like about a minute long of just them all standing there.
That's how you decide who the leader is. And see who dares to step forward and say something.
And then all of them are very timid. And then one of them is eventually like, "So this is the secret training camp?" And one girl's like, well, it's not exactly Palm Springs. Oops, was I supposed to say that? And then Mr. Boom makes his first appearance. Oh, how we missed you. Grindbin All-Star, Mr. Boom.
Yep.
And so the business guy comes up and he basically tells him, he's like, all right, hey, this is the colonel and the sergeant. And the sergeant's like, hey, ladies, thank you for coming. We have 10 days to turn you from Las Vegas showgirls into commando fighters.
This should go well.
And he says, those of you that do make it will be the best fighters that ever came out of this camp.
I believe that.
Well, I write, either this camp is brand new or that is a lie, sir. Like that. Although this camp cannot be real because they go through this obstacle course, right?
It actually is a pretty dangerous, rocky obstacle course. And they are barely
dangerous.
Well, I mean, they could if they're wearing no clothes and no protection. They're running in the sun in the middle of a desert, and there's just these rocks that are pointed up.
Before we get into that, though, I missed one line. Is the sergeant says to him, he goes, all right, girls, now, when you run through this obstacle course, I want you to pretend like it's a minefield.
Yeah.
And, like, these tires are mines, okay? And if you don't do it right, you could lose both legs. And the girl with the natural anatomy that disables her from holding a weapon says, this guy has a fertile imagination. And I write, what?
Yeah, she made a joke about losing her legs.
I was like, wait, what's the joke?
He's I have no idea. It's just supposed to be innuendo, I think.
Losing both your legs is somehow a sexy thing?
You know, it's called fetishes.
Yeah.
And so we go to the obstacle course. Now, who wants to volunteer? Tell the audience what this obstacle course consists of.
It's going to be just like a puddle. Some tires and like the cheapest wood foundation we can find from Home Depot, and just kind of mat it up and put a towel
and don't
over
forget like some sort of vent that they've
they
found a tube somewhere and they rolled it on the set.
Yeah,
it seems like stuff that was already out in that desert.
Yeah,
they just rolled up and went, we could use that. I wrote, jump over this.
Now, Hughes, you said this is dangerous. I wrote there are children's playgrounds that are more dangerous.
I think if you rewatch it, you can see that like it was actually like really large rocks, and there was girls twisting their ankles running, like in the scene.
So you're impressed by the stunt work?
Yeah, it was very hands on.
Well, when they run through it the first time, none of them can get over the wall, and some of them can't even hop over this puddle.
No.
And this puddle is maybe like, I don't know, 3 feet long.
About that.
I really don't think they're giving it their all.
No.
Like, I'm starting to think these Vegas showgirls aren't taking this commando training seriously.
No, well, they didn't give them bras. What do you expect? They're like, I don't want to jump. Do I really have to?
There's this music that's playing over this point.
Yeah,
by the
which
way.
they'll play a million times.
They're going to play, so it's going to fade to black once they don't make it over the wall. And they're going to come back, and they just like hit repeat on the music, and it restarts.
And then we just see almost some of the same shots.
I thought for sure they were used.
And I guess this is supposed to be either later, like they've been through training.
Yeah.
Or just immediately after the first time. They're like, now let's try that again. All right, we got it.
As you can see, they're now commandos.
Like they had no time to even fill the scene between with anything.
Yeah, there's no measure of time to say how long have we been here. Like, why are we doing this? We do this multiple times in this film too.
Do you think there was like a whole other thing they'd filmed, and then they get back and they're like, "Oh, that fucking intern! He exposed all the footage! Oh,
check
God
the bag.
Damn it!
Check the gates."
Well, do you guys want to do some math on the days here? So they have the phone call where he gets the kidnapping thing, and then the guy flies to Vegas, which is like, what, 11 to 18 hours, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
From Syria?
I would think so. Yeah.
And then he has to recruit these people and convince them. Then he has another 10 days of training for these people. So he's got about, what, 20 days left from the time that we finished training?
Oh, you're right. They gave him 30 days.
Yeah, they only had 30 days.
Yeah,
They never bring up the 30 days.
We got
again.
less than 3 weeks.
And he says 10 days.
10 days of training.
Them, right?
So he loses at least 12, 13 days automatically.
Just to get the plan set up.
You're right. This is, and at some point I go like, there really is no reason to use these girls other than the TNA factor, because
what made these girls like? What was the criteria of them qualifying to become commandos?
Because,
and what was wrong with the other girls that didn't qualify?
Oh, these specifically? Yeah, we don't know.
They just picked names out of a hat.
Yeah, like they looked at him. Whoever got the hardest, well, look at any girl. That's the one you go with.
I think. at some point, they go here and they're like, well, their cover is going to be Showgirls. Their cover is shit.
Yeah.
Because somebody immediately goes like, oh no, there's a bunch of white women running around.
Yeah.
We know who they are.
Also, to jump ahead a little bit, there are at least 2 instances where they come into their hotel room in their commando gear with their machine guns going, good work today,
Bobby,
girls.
Yeah.
They go to the side door. There's a whole scene explaining it.
Yeah, don't worry about that. We will get to it. That was not a subtle part of the movie.
No. Before there, we go to a scene where Jan breaks a piece of wood with her fist, which I'm sure they thought was such a great stunt. It did not read well on the camera.
Not at all.
Well, they don't even teach her like how to do it properly. Just like, oh, no. But she gets it done somehow. I'm like, she's gonna like break a knuckle or something.
It's obvious that the guy is just like holding 2 pieces of broken wood together.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. Well, I trust Jan. She knows what she's doing. Every 2 years, she's got to go through this.
Exactly.
Every 2 years she goes through this training.
She's never made it. This is the first time she actually made it. Yeah, like he said, do you know how many sons of ambassadors get kidnapped? I do this all the time. So we go to a shooting range, right? And the sergeant's teaching them how to shoot M16 rifles. Now, why do I write down M16s? Because he doesn't shut the fuck up about it.
He also makes a remark about how many people have died from unloaded guns. I'm like, what?
Right, yeah.
Well, because he said, don't point your gun at something unless you intend to kill it. Many people have been killed by unloaded guns. As like basically somebody pointed a gun at somebody and they shot him.
Yeah, but then that would mean that gun wasn't unloaded. Just going to throw that one right out there.
I guess he said they assumed it would be unloaded, and
yeah,
that's the statistic, I guess. Like they thought it was unloaded, and
yeah. So
Sean, let us know. No.
No, Sean, I think I got this one. If the gun's unloaded and has no bullets in it, you will not be shot by that gun.
Chris Hughes of missingrounds.com.
And then we have... So this is when we get the scene where the poor girl with the unfortunate anatomy that does not allow her to even hold a gun. Because he's like, all right, now girls, this is how you hold a gun. And she kind of puts it up and she's like, wait, how do I... Because the gun is like all in her boobs and everything. Mm-hmm. She has to call the sergeant over and she's like, how should I hold this?
I gotta point out, when she calls him over, I wrote down her line is, I can't seem to get it right, officer. Like she's getting pulled over.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't in the military, but I'm pretty sure you don't call your drill sergeant officer.
She doesn't know what she's like. Is this... Wait, what movie is this?
This is cop stuff, right?
But I love this is that the sergeant kind of gives up and he goes, you know what, try from the hip.
Yeah.
And then you get that shot of that girl shoving a clip into a gun while it's pointed straight up, and then it fires a bullet in the air. And the sergeant just runs at her and starts screaming at her.
The only time he's being a drill sergeant is in this scene.
And then
he's
after
like a talk
he does
show
that,
drill sergeant who's running to yell at a kid.
After he does that, she says something like, "What a dick" or something.
Yeah,
you almost killed yourself.
Yeah, audibly, it's just like asshole.
Had like a Section 8 or whatever it's called here. And I do like this. So after they're done shooting, the sergeant goes, "Ladies, I got the use of the swimming pool.
I got permission to use. Got permission from the officers to use this swimming pool."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I know what's coming.
Change into your swimwear that you've brought, apparently.
So they have standard issue, training wear, but not standard issue swimwear that everyone brings
not for
around.
women.
Yeah.
Well, again, they wouldn't let them wear bras under the shirt.
Yeah.
Like, so they weren't allowed to wear their swimwear under the clothes.
Yeah.
They had to bring it in a bag or something.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, ladies, all you're allowed to bring is a wife beater, tiny shorts, and a swimsuit. And you can't wear them all at once.
Except for one girl who wears everything at once, including shoes.
Yeah.
This is that girl that was bugging me.
Change your swimwear, and then we will call you back out and tell you who's been selected. So we go to a pool. The girls go swimming, and they chat about stuff.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Forever.
For there's a lot of chatting in this movie.
Runtime.
They mentioned something about hoping... Okay, this is... All right, so they mentioned something about hoping to get their jobs back if this doesn't work out. And I go, so wait a second. The whole show just walked out?
Mid-performance?
Yeah.
Like, do you imagine a guy with a clipboard being like, where the fuck you go? God damn it. We got a show in 5 hours. Where are you girls going?
Poor Scooter with the headset backstage. Like,
they're like, fuck you, we're gone.
We're commandos now.
Yeah. I was like imagining like a mass strike of showgirls in Las Vegas. Like it's in all the papers.
The spinning newspaper establishing that?
They're like, what show are pervert tourists going to go to now to justify seeing naked women?
Yeah.
No, honey, it's art. It's not like a strip club because there's a whole routine. I really think you'll love this show.
It's like Cirque du Soleil, but, with tits.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about the Las Vegas Showgirl show. It's such a relic of the past because they try and play it off like, no, but it's like the classy version of nudity. And it's like, well, no, not really.
No.
It's still just boobs.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess they do it to like some sort of Grease number or something, It's like
Grease.
You know what? That's what they should do in Vegas. They should just do topless musicals.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
American Idiot, American Titiot.
Yeah. Wow. They should just do topless versions of musicals, Like, I'd really love to see the Rent version. The topless Rent. Is that the one where everybody gets AIDS?
Yeah, that's the one where everybody gets AIDS, Mike.
I have no idea what
I want to see like a topless Death of a Salesman. It could be great, man.
That was a musical?
No, I'm going into plays now,
Like topless musical,
Like, I wanna
Death
see
of a
it,
Salesman,
like,
I'm in.
I think Vegas should really get into like topless David Mamet plays,
Glengarry topless.
Yeah, Glengarry topless, This is a real
Put
thing they're
that
missing
shirt
out
down.
Yeah.
Bras are for closers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. You see, this is $1 billion idea. Get on it, MGM.
License to print money.
Like, what type of people do you think go to Vegas Showgirls shows?
The best kind of people.
I imagine a lot of guys in cowboy hats. I mean, that's just me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing their wives, and they're just like so embarrassed.
Well, pretty soon all of the Raiders.
Yeah. We just lost all of our showgirl listeners.
Yeah. Damn it! So a voice comes on the speaker for the pool and tells them, "Hey, all these girls have been selected. If you didn't get selected, you still get $1,000."
He also mentions, because of the delicacy of this mission, I'm going to read first names only. They all know each other.
What does that mean?
They're
delicacy?
from the same place.
You know what it really was? He's like, in the background, he's like, oh shit, we didn't get last names.
We gotta make up last names for everybody.
Also, we were just calling them by nicknames. We can't. I can't. Look, we really wanted that girl with the big boobs to go along, but I can't just read off the word knockers over the PA system.
Clown tits.
I don't know her name. Did anybody get it?
We got clown tits, pink taboo.
Ponytail, stretch, flapjack.
Clitums.
I was half expecting there would be a scene where they like have to do their physical. Like, I really thought that was maybe that's the one that they couldn't get. Like, they lost the negative to
the STD check.
Yeah. I imagine just one man and a popsicle stick sitting in a room. And he's just like, "Come on in, girls."
Flesh color thermometer.
Let's see how hot you are.
Where's that Bronson line? Put it in your mouth.
Oh, jeez.
What's funny is at this point where they name off all the names, I wrote them down, but then the number.
Oh my god!
But then the number of girls that are actually throughout the rest of the movie is like double what I have written down. So we have like
they had multiple camps running here.
Yeah, they did. They had Jan as the leader, then Billy, then Beth, then Gail, then Dina, then Megan, the girl with the shoes that I hate, and Chrissy and Karen.
And unfortunately, our friend, she does not get selected. Now, here's what the most insulting thing about it is. She says a line, but they don't even have the courtesy to show her face. They just focus in on the boobs while she's saying her last line, almost as if the director's like, "Kiss him goodbye, fellas." Zip them up, because that's the last you're going to see of them.
That's a wrap on your fly. That boner.
We couldn't afford her more than one day. Sorry. So then we go to the business guy on the phone, and he tells the ambassador, he's like, "Hey, I got a plan. You're going to be real happy about it." And I write, "Willie, really?"
Would you be happy with this plan? If
No,
your son,
no.
Is anybody okay with this?
No.
Like, he needed the whole thing was he can teach them to be commandos, but he couldn't teach anybody to be showgirls. That's what their cover was. That's what this movie is. They needed showgirls to be undercover so they get hired at this casino, but then he trained them as commandos.
Yeah.
Not that he took commandos and trained them to be showgirl. This movie at this point has me so upset.
Yeah. But Hughes, you get the nice part where they're marching.
That great chant they have.
Yeah, what's the chant?
Hell Squad is the best. Don't ever put us to the test. I'm like,
Don't
wait,
ever put it. I knew they were going to come up with something that rhymes with Chester, Tester, you know.
Hell Squad, we're the best. Hell Squad, we're the best. Don't ever put us to the test. Don't ever put us to the test.
Also, this scene is nothing. It doesn't fit in
They're
anywhere.
just wandering the desert cheering for themselves.
So then, okay, I love this part. This is the part where the son's in the prison and the terrorists walk in and he goes, "We are required by Geneva Convention to give you food and water." And he just...
He literally splashes water on them at their face and like,
here's your food, and he throws the food.
And then here's your water.
Okay.
And there's the food, sand.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
It's just sand. And I actually wrote and I said, I bet the producer actually thinks that people that live in I guess Syria, but I think they're supposed to be in Afghanistan or Saudi Arabia or somewhere different, eat sand.
That is
like they got so much of it, they probably eat it. Sand cakes, sand bread. It's all over the place. Because he just chucks sand on the ground.
This is the part where Trump is smacking Bannon in the arm going, see that?
They treat him better than we do. So
Maybe it was like
I like this. We had a 30-second scene of the sun, and we don't see him for another good 45 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
You just put him in the back
God,
of the mind.
like Bobby said, you wanted the bomb on him.
Yeah. If my favorite takeaway from this film was
they should have made this like a Saw movie, like the guy was gonna blow up, like you know.
There's a seemingly dead guy on the ground the whole time. Until he splashes it with food and water and the guy moves.
You know, he's like lying like trying to get some in.
Did that corpse on the floor just go?
Like it burped too.
Is there any part where Carrie Ellis walks in with a cane and goes, "That sounds a little perverse"? Chris Mann and I saw some Saw movie in the theater.
We saw 3D on opening night.
He used to make me see every one of these in the theater. And
sadist.
I did not. It was just that one.
We died laughing in this like support group for Saw victims. Have you ever seen this movie?
No.
There's this part. You know the part?
Yeah, I do.
Now, you know Carrie Ellis is in the first one, right? There's a part where he walks, like all of a sudden you just see a cane hobble into a room, right? And then it pans up and it's Carrie Ellis for some reason making a cameo in this movie. And he goes, "Oh, really? That sounds a little perverse."
And he waves his cane at the people when he says that.
And then is this the guy that cut his foot off in the first one?
Yeah.
I thought he died.
And
then it goes game over at the end.
No, that's why he has a cane. And then I swear
you
to God,
gotta watch the other 9.
I'm sorry.
I swear to God, he just kind of slinks back into the shadows. And they're like, "That's a wrap on Carrie. Thank you, sir."
It's just long enough for them, the filmmakers, to be like, "Hey, remember the good one?"
What good one?
Yeah, that's some guy on set goes, "There was a good one."
Trust me, you get to like Saw 6, there was a good one. You know, you're thinking back on the first one, like,
Is Saw 6, is the one we saw with Carrie Ellis in it, that one where they have like some sort of plexiglass trap in the middle of like a...
like Times Square?
Yeah.
Like, how did they set that up?
Like some sort of David Blaine?
Yeah.
Like people are walking over like, "Oh, is this some sort of magician trick?" Oh!
Yeah, there's like a woman hanging like almost naked above a saw, spinning like skill saw, and like 2 guys.
Oh, the new Chris Angel.
I wanted like a spin-off movie for the delivery guy who has to bring all this shit to different locations.
Yeah.
It's like, I got these giant blocks of ice for Mr. Jigsaw. That's a weird name.
Mr. J. Saw.
Someone's got to sign for this.
Mr. J. Saw.
J. Saw.
That's his fucking... That's his fucking alias. He tries to get away with shit.
How'd you find him so fast?
Yes. Adam West could find him.
So then we go to a business guy in the meeting with the ambassador, and the ambassador is just like, I'm sorry, is this a joke? This is your plan? And he's like, no, we literally have no other choice.
Yeah, he says it's all we've got left. Like, this was your first idea.
And like you said, this is 13 days later. He's like,
at least
I let you have 13 days, and this is what you come back with? A bunch of whores and guns?
Sir, they're showgirls. Let's try to be a little more respectful.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. They're part of the showgirl scene? Oh, okay.
The union.
So the ambassador says to him, he's like, well, can I at least get a demonstration?
Show me.
And then two of the girls just beat some guys up.
Is it the same guys from earlier who attacked Jan? Is that like their
It
whole
might
purpose?
be. They're just like, oh, not again. And they just get beat up. And then the business guy claims, this is when he's like, they're going to go undercover. And I was wondering at this point, I'm like, how? Like, it might just be me, but I don't think there's going to be a large number of white showgirl women on the border of Syria. But, maybe it's just me. I don't know about the showgirl crowd. I'm sure they tour well,
I'm pretty sure this is where they lost that. They didn't pay for that last part of the script. This is where that starts.
Yeah, it's right here. I can see the line already.
The line, the magic
the
marker.
last page has been turned.
Yeah, I can see where the big red X came into play on the last page.
So then we just immediately so basically there's a scene of Jan answering her phone at night without a shirt on because they're like, well, we got to get some sort of nudity in this movie. They're telling me it's been too long, so have her answer the phone and do a useless scene where some guy says, meet me downstairs at a vacant auto show. Because also we're going to just break into this museum at night and film in there.
It feels very much like they're not supposed to be here.
No, they're at the auto museum and they're just walking through trying to do this.
So we go to this auto museum, right?
Fantastic.
Which is just, they've turned on the lights in this building. The maintenance guy's like, he has no idea what they're doing. They're like, well, no, we'll be out of here soon, sir. No worries. Here's $50. Can you imagine? He's like, hey, sir, can you let us in, please? I forgot my wallet. And the guy opens the door and all these people just come rolling in. And he's like, whoa. He's like, no, it's okay. They're with me.
They're helping me look.
We go to this, and the business guy's telling them, he's giving them the rundown, and that this is where we learn they're going to go to Syria. Now all of a sudden the girls are like, wait a second, we're actually going to do a mission?
Yeah, there's a great exchange about this.
There was a whole part of where he goes, they open the car museum, the scene opens. The assistant guy says, by now you know what the ambassador's son is, or you know that the ambassador's son's been kidnapped. And I'm like, how? Like, if they already know, then why are we recapping it?
They've never told that. They're like, wait a second, we got to go rescue a guy's kid? Oh, we didn't sign up for this.
When was that?
And I was like, well, what did they think their skills were going to be put to?
They were just going to go kill terrorists. That's what they were trained to do.
And then the one girl, so Bobby, there's a girl in this scene, right? And then you were telling me earlier.
Yeah, she is astounding in how hard she botches her dialogue. Like, there's entire sentences where she just sort of trails off halfway through and then gets it back about a minute later.
As you said to me earlier, it's almost as if she stops the whole movie because she's just like, yeah, we're going to go over there.
Yeah.
And, like, the rest of the cast just kind of turns and looks at her.
They're like, do we do another take? No. We don't have time.
No, this is Palm Desert in the summer. It's 120.
We're not even supposed to be it. I shouldn't have said that out loud, but...
Has anyone found my wallet yet?
Yeah, what a responsibility. We're not just Las Vegas dancers. We're trained commandos.
Even so, our lives are really going to be on the line, huh?
There is something we found in this scene, though.
What?
Mr. Boom Mike.
Oh, you're right. He makes another appearance.
Yeah. Mr. Boom coming in to explain the mission.
No, you know what's funny about that girl is that they give her another line later in the movie, which is also pivotal to the plot, and she still fucks it up. Like, you think they would have learned their lesson the first time and given it to somebody else, but they're like, let her try again. Oh, fuck. It's all right, honey.
You'll get it eventually.
Nobody will notice. The dick's in the hand already. Nobody's going to notice. They basically are going to go undercover as dancers at a hotel and have weapons and jeeps delivered to them. Okay, a plane lands, so we know something's going on. And we go to this hotel, and the girls, now we're just going to, for now on, this movie will have 3 locations. Like, they literally go to the same room. I don't know how many times. 5, 6?
I lost count.
Like the same shot. Like the camera was just set up in a tripod. They obviously just rented a room for the day. And like what I thought was, have you ever seen the Madonna Inn?
Oh,
One
yeah.
of the rooms looks a lot like the Madonna Inn. Like it's just the most gaudy hotel room you've ever seen.
Absolutely.
They've set up the tripod in the corner. You can see the production lights right by the windows. Mr. Boom Mike cannot fit himself. You know, the wide shot is still getting him in it because the roof is not tall enough. They just kind of go in. They go over and they look in the bedroom. There's a mirror over the bed, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't notice that. There's a mirror. Wow.
And there's a tub.
Oh, this tub.
Hughes, what about this tub?
This tub is quite large. You know, large enough for the entire female cast to get into. But they put in the plot line that there is a water shortage in Syria and that they can only fill this thing up once a night.
Yeah, so they should all get in there at the same time. Cut to them all getting into the tub at the same time, and boy, does it look cramped.
It does not look like a good time.
And this is what I said, again, it's just always setting up like there's going to be a porn. Because they're like, we should all get in this tub at the same time, ladies.
But it's like if the guy from Memento tried to make a porno and just he gets the scene ready to go and then goes, wait a minute, where am I? Oh yeah, I was gonna set up a porno.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go outside. I need 3 of you.
They needed a scene where they filled it all up. The tub is full of water, then they all get in and it all spills out because of the displacement principle.
You're right. At this point, they probably just filled it to the bottom, like just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's like 15 girls in this tub. It doesn't look relaxing at all.
Yeah.
Legs are everywhere.
No water, just foam.
And then the phone rings, and instead of answering it, they just all talk about answering it for a good 3 minutes. Like the phone's just ringing and ringing. They're like, somebody should answer that. Will you? Somebody should really answer that phone. They just go on and on.
Sort of like, I'm not contracted to show myself. Are you? Do you have nudity in yours?
Who has full frontal nudity? Oh, wait, the girl we've already seen full frontal nudity of.
Jan.
Just Jan.
Hey, Jan, get the phone.
So she gets out of the tub, answers the phone.
Jan finds the smallest towel to put around herself.
Yeah, not much of a towel at all.
Dish towel.
And just says to the girl, she's like, oh, there's an oil sheik downstairs. And he says he'll give any one of us who gets down there in 5 minutes a diamond necklace. But then we just kind of fade to all the girls coming back into the room, and Jan's alone in the tub.
Yeah.
Yeah, she faked them out so she'd get the whole tub to herself.
Right.
Yeah.
And she says the line, hey... It was just a little Arabic joke, girls.
First of many.
The old Arab joke, you know, the old 15 girls in a tub joke. It kills on the Arab comedy scene, you know. How do you get white girl to go downstairs? Offer her a diamond necklace.
It's they got that from the comedian who went on before their dance show.
Yeah.
If there was like an Arab Rodney Dangerfield, that's what they, because we will get to that dance show eventually. I didn't realize that those weren't the girls.
Respect you, not
Wait,
me.
what? Okay, now I can't wait.
Okay, so then we just go to girls riding in Jeeps, right? And they're driving somewhere in these custom uniforms they now have, which basically just consists of berets with a logo on them, little green shirts, little green like button-up shirts, and hot pants.
And like riding shoes for horses.
Yeah.
Like riding boots.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks a lot like the training.
More or less. It
Like-
still looks like they're waitresses at a themed bar.
Yeah, like now they've
Like a
moved
military themed bar, which we should talk about this. I think we can make some money with this idea.
up. Well, maybe Chesty Anderson's. I don't know. a great military theme bar.
That sounds perfect.
So then they get to this terrorist base, or as I put, just what looks like a miniature golf course, like outside of a family fun center, because this castle is just, there's so much fucking cement on this. They run up like the handicap ramp, and they, they run in and just, they shoot up these guys' card game.
This is Massacre Mafia style. Like
It really
the way
is.
that they're just like clumsily running through here, shooting everything.
There's no like, all right, on my 6, cover that, you know, on the 2. There's
They
no like,
literally pause outside for a second and go, all right, girls.
yeah, kick it down. down.
And then we're breaking bottles and stabbing people. And
I love that the one redheaded girl, who I've never seen before, just runs in and she's just like, like she's just laughing hysterically.
It's like the scene from Kindergarten Cop where Arnold comes in, the kids are going crazy. He's like, no! I wanted to see one of the girls just squat down and shit. Just to do it, just in spite.
There's a couple of great things that are going on in this like choreographed fight, quotations choreographed.
Yeah.
There's that knife throw that we get.
I love that knife throw.
And then there's this girl that beats up the guy onto the table, then pulls him onto the ground, and then stomps him. And she actually stomped his face. like she actually kicked his face, and his whole body goes like, oh shit. And she's like, oh. And then move to the next scene.
And the director's like, Syria rules, buddy. Syria rules. So then they just drive away. And I write in my notes, I go, I don't understand. Was this practice? What did this have to do
what
with
is
the
going
kid?
on here?
There's not at one point did they ever ask about a son or anything. They just walked into a room, no questions
laid
asked.
waste to a family fun center.
I mean, this is a John Rambo. Like,
absolutely.
They just went in and it's like, and just started shooting everybody. And they're like, oh, wait a second. Weren't we supposed to save a guy?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Hopefully we didn't shoot him. No, they get back to what I write down, hotel in question marks.
I had no idea what they pulled outside of.
I write, they're obviously pretending this is a hotel, but this is clearly somebody's house in Palm Springs.
I thought it was like an outhouse at a park.
It looked like a sliding door to a regular house where they had the Jeep pull up. And this is, Bobby, what you were saying earlier, that they walk through multiple times with their uniforms. It's okay because they're going through the, quote, side entrance.
I'm in no position to complain about this.
Yeah.
But I write, well, that's not going to really keep you undercover because people saw you come up to the hotel.
Right. These Jeeps showed up.
And all these girls in uniforms with these angry cats on their berets and M16 rifles. But they just go into their room and they're like, should we get in that tub again?
Yeah.
You know, we're really sore and I'm tired. Nude scene.
Being a commando is real hard work. Nothing like, oh my God, I killed a man today. It's like, fuck it.
Did you see Kelly stomp that guy?
You know what's funny? Yeah, I never even thought that these people did not care about killing anybody. There was never a part in the movie like, oh, you know, PTSD or anything like that. They're like, on to the next day.
Yeah, you were hoping for a serious PTSD subplot in this?
Some girl like a breakdown, like a girl. I would love a girl that was broken down like while they were infiltrating another base camp, and they have to carry her out or they kill her.
Oh, well, there was only one girl that ever asked questions at one point. She, we'll get into it, and the other girls are kind of like, yeah, shut up. It's basically the attitude that they have is the only good Arab is a dead Arab. Mm-hmm. That's what the attitude is in this movie. And they try and explain it away, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
No.
But they had a part where they go like, we've killed a bunch of Arabs, but I don't think any of them were terrorists.
Yeah, I wrote down that line. Yeah, we raided and killed dozens of Arabs, and none of them seemed to be terrorists.
We're not even there yet. We're not even there yet.
No,
at this point, they're just like, didn't we have fun? Because they go back and they're all cheering about it. They're like, yeah, we fucking murdered some guys.
Now let's all get in the tub.
Do you think it was suspicious that they just looked like they were playing cards?
They seem pretty confused as the life escaped their eyes.
I don't regret anything, though. I don't make apologies. So the next morning, the girls are back at it, but at this time they are no longer in the desert.
They're in some like tundra with tents.
Yeah. I wrote.
And Germany.
Did they just forget where they are? Yeah,
they're in Germany now. There's a German tank.
Absolutely.
There's a bunch of white people running around.
Yeah. And Janet texts a guy smoking a cigarette next to a tank. Well, she tries to like strangle him. Yeah. But she just kind of puts her arm around him, and then he immediately crumples like a rag doll. He's like, hey.
that neck pinch.
And then you're right, they get into some sort of World War II tank.
Well, it's kind of like they like painted on the outside of it. Like they took like a paper towel and spray painted like a cucumber.
So I took a screenshot and sent it to Mike. Yeah. It is the Arab sword from Aladdin. Yeah. Spray painted in line art.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I thought it was a fucking cucumber.
I thought this was the ISIS symbol. And so then they break into it, like they break into a tank, right? And there's two girls in there like, wait a second. And this is another scenario of like, wait, do you know how to fly a plane? Wait, do you know how to fly a helicopter?
In any of the 10 days, did we get tank training?
She goes, don't worry, I'll figure it out. And then they somehow aim it, and the girl says, okay, make a big bang. And the one goes, I always do, honey.
Yeah. Ha ha.
Zing.
And then she hits something. And then they just kind of shoot stuff with the tank and then drive it off. And they're kind of just murdering guys in tents.
Yeah.
And then they just sort of leave.
Well, there was this cool part where they're running through and this is pyrotechnics that are going off. And then they leave the tank.
But again, no questions were asked. No tents were searched.
None of them just seemed to be terrorists.
They were just like, kill as many as you can. Well, fuck it. Let's just go.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of drive off. Abandoned tank.
Shoot anything not in hot pants.
They just, and yeah, this is the scene where it just looks like a bunch of white guys running around.
They're in Germany. They're no longer in Syria.
This movie was not 80 minutes yet, so they clearly had to film another attack scene.
That's because this movie works in threes in many ways. 3 attack scenes, 3 phone calls.
I honestly, this is what I
training
thought is like,
scenes.
this
Three
is
boom
the
mics.
most. This is the most first draft of a movie I've ever seen.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is just somebody wrote it in one night and is like, well, I'll definitely fill this in with more story. And they're like, no, we shoot tomorrow.
Wouldn't it be nice if it worked that well?
So they
Your spitball session gets on the screen.
So they just abandon the tank. They just get out of it like maybe, I don't know, 100 yards from
You know how long it would take to take that tank back to the hotel? You have to abandon it.
Well, it would have been great if they put it. Where are we going to hide it?
Park it next to the Jeeps.
Knowing them, they just throw a sheet over it, you know?
And it would work.
So we go back to the hotel, back in the tub, and they're all cheering and happy. Right. You didn't accomplish really anything other
just
than murder.
Murdered a bunch of people for the last 2 days. And they're probably winding down. They only had 4 days to get them, and then that plane leaves. So we were on a 4-day clock, and then we've gone through 2 of them.
Yeah, and this is when, okay, so the phone rings again, and Jane answers. She goes, look, we've raided and killed dozens of Arabs, and none seem to be terrorists. And I write, oh, wow. Wow. So at this point, we just have a bunch of white American women dressed in hot pants and, M16 rifles and berets going around murdering Arab people.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, who's the terrorist in this movie?
Like, will the UN...
That's the real message. That's what this movie's trying to say.
Yeah.
Who's the real terrorist?
Will the UN be notified at any point? It's like, we got some serious war crimes going on in this country.
They will be notified, but due to the sensitive nature of this mission, only first names will be given.
Yeah.
And then she's like, hey, Will, we can't go out tomorrow because we're getting really suspicious.
We'll start to ask questions.
But then at the end of it, she goes like, all right, well, we'll go out tomorrow. 5 a.m. again? All right, fine. Then we go to a show. And this is what I said. So there's girls dancing on stage doing like belly dances. I thought this was the Hell Squad.
No. I thought the Hell Squad came later.
They do.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, oh, what are they blending in as belly dancers? And this makes a little bit more sense.
It would have been nice.
Right? Now, here's where we get my favorite guy in the whole movie. Is a guy that we will not follow up on that I kind of wish the movie was just about this character. Because I really want to know how this guy got here and why he's stuck in whatever country this is. Is this guy who's the club owner goes over and shakes a guy's hand. He goes, hey, yeah, nice to see ya. And he wipes his hand off on his coat like he doesn't even want to touch the guy. Then we see a joke told through subtitles very quickly that I couldn't read.
And it wasn't really funny, whatever it was.
No,
it's not really so much a joke. It's the old 2 people speaking different languages talking shit on each other and the other one doesn't know it gag.
Yeah.
They've done it in a couple different movies.
Yeah, because this American guy that owns the club thinks he just goes around and insults people like he's Don Rickles or something. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, I'm in your shithole country, you dumb fucking towelhead, and you don't understand what I'm saying.
You probably eat sand. I tell you this.
Yeah, here's have some sand with your dinner, you fucker.
You hockey puck.
And they're just like, yeah, we know what you're saying, you greasy motherfucker. And so the other handshake guy goes and complains how he has to talk to these Arab guys, to the waitress, and I'm like, does he really have to talk to them? Just sit in the back office, dude.
Nobody asked you to come over and say anything.
So then the club owner and Mr. Boom, they walk over to these guys, and this is my favorite line, is he just goes up and he goes,
well, how are you tonight, you rancid sacks of suet? Oh, we got a great show for you lame brain idiots tonight.
He honestly thinks they can't understand him, but they can. And then he says, "Drink up, you stinking scum bums. I need all your money so I can get out of your stinking country." And I write, I want to know this guy's story.
Yeah.
How did he somehow get stranded here? Like, is this a manhandler situation? Like, he had like a dead uncle and he flew all the way to Syria and he's like, "You mean I have to, oh shit, I inherited this bar?"
No, I think this is more of like that born in East LA where he just gets dropped on the wrong side of the border and he can't get home.
It's almost like Billingsley from Savage Sisters.
It really is.
Yeah.
So then the Hell Squad just shows up with a boombox.
Like they do.
I guess their cover is that they're all just going to come out like they're the Fly Girls on In Living Color and just do like a 30-second dance.
Take us to commercial.
Yeah, because that's all they do. They just dance for about 30 seconds in these black shirts. And then all the guys that I wrote, the Arab guys are not very impressed.
Well, did you watch them dance? There was nothing impressive about it.
At some point, some guy says, like, to the club owner, he's like, "This is a shitty show." And he's just like, "Yeah, you love it."
Well, they had 10 days to be commandos, but only 5 to be showgirls.
Yeah. And this is my right. Like, okay, so they could have gotten anybody to do this mission. Because
they could have sent commandos in to dance and done the same job.
At the end of this, where we see the Sheik start throwing money on the ground, that's where we see where some of these girls' professions came from, because they immediately know how to grab that money off the
you're right,
they do
start grabbing the money off the dance floor.
Yeah.
So then we go to the next well, I don't know what this is, because we just see driving in Jeeps, which is clearly shot in the day, but they've just put a filter over the footage.
Yeah, oh, totally.
Well, because it was the same shot.
Absolutely.
But then it just goes to the tub again. I'm like, wait, what just happened?
They didn't want to like have another scene where they have to go in and kill everything. So this is just another mission, and they show them going out because they reuse that footage. Then they bring them back for the tub.
Yeah,
then
it's sort of like them going, "It doesn't matter.
It's just another way."
Look, they just went out and did some more stuff.
You know,
look, we're just gonna get right to the tub.
How many more dead Arabs do we need in this movie? Am I right?
That's
just
not
get
what
back
you're
here
here
for.
And when they come back from that mission, they're too tired for a spa, any kind of treatment.
Yeah, totally.
And they're just like, we're just going to go to bed.
Okay, but in this scene, they're in the tub again, and the phone rings, and then we see, quote, someone talking on the phone to Jan, and it looks like a lady. And then we go to the next day, same old story, different day. This time we don't even see them killed. They just drive around and come back again. So this is another scene of just them driving around for no reason.
Just can't be bothered to explain it.
And you're right, this is the one they can't even get in the tub. They're so exhausted. But because this is the last half hour of the movie and the director got a hold of it and he rewrote the ending, is now all of a sudden these Arabs with guns come in and kidnap them. But by the way, they did let them get dressed before they...
Absolutely.
It was
Will
nice.
you watch one of the girls get dressed while they're trying to drag her out? And she's like, no, let me get this on.
Yeah, she's like, can I get my pants on?
Yeah, okay. We're ahead of schedule anyway.
So then we go to the prison, and they have all these girls chained up against a wall. And then we get Marvin Miller and Brownface as the Sheik. And he thanks the girls for visiting him. Wait, hey ladies, thank you for coming in here.
Yeah.
Wait, what movie am I in? And
what am I wearing? Oh.
They keep getting this lady who can't deliver lines.
Why do they give her the... Well, she probably blew like the writer or something. That's why she's getting these lines, or the director.
Well, the writer is the director.
Right.
So you're saying
basically,
she blew more than lines?
Basically, yeah. Yeah. And she didn't spit him back out, I'll tell you that much.
Oh! I want to thank you all for visiting me today.
Visiting you, you slob. You kidnapped us at gunpoint at our hotel.
How you got here isn't important. You're here.
The Sheik wants to know why they are in this country, because the cover of them being dancers is not flying. He's like,
shocking.
I want to know why they're all chained in the same dungeon where the ambassador's son was, but he's not there. That's all I want to know.
It looks exactly the same.
It is the same one.
And then they just bring a tiger into the room, and I was like, oh no, this is a real tiger.
So do you really think they had professional animal wranglers?
I don't know, because there's a part where they release one girl and he's like, bring the tiger over to her, and she just lays on the ground like, please, no.
Oh, God, yeah.
Perspective, please leave this thing far away from me.
I think the actress is legit scared.
Oh, fuck yeah, if you're working on this set with these people. Yeah.
But there is that great shot of the tiger licking his lips with the sound effects, you know? Like you said, it becomes a Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it does.
It's like... And then the Sheik's like, well, it's the tiger only eats on Tuesdays.
This is another bizarre part of the movie because then they start arguing what day of the week it is.
Yeah, one of them's like, it's Wednesday. No, it's Saturday. And this goes on for a while.
And it turned out it was Wednesday, so he just ate.
That's why he's licking his lips.
And then he goes, all right, well, who sent you? And she says, Joe sent us. And he's like, Joe? We're just as confused as him.
Joe Mama.
He was almost like, Joe, is that a line in the movie?
Wait a minute. Who's Joe?
Then he goes, well, I don't believe you're dancers because a bunch of my soldiers were killed by all-female commandos, and I'm pretty sure it's you. You're the only white girls in town.
Also, I saw you dance.
Yeah, you didn't fool anybody with that boombox. And then, you know what would have been really funny is if they tried to blend in by doing like a traditional Arab act.
Oh, no.
And like, could you imagine
shit.
like one of them's got like a little snake charmer thing and another girl comes out of a basket?
Isn't it Indian?
Yeah, that is Indian.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what
I'm
would be like.
sorry, I didn't get
Yeah,
your
it'd be like
another
that,
racism
yeah.
there. I'll try to be better with it.
Commenting on their racism.
That was the idea, yeah.
Their
then, like-
ignorance of other cultures.
And then he was at the, well, you know, I'm going off what I see in Small World at
Yeah, they got like a
Disneyland.
sombrero on there.
Tell me the Arab part in Small World doesn't have a guy with a snake charmer.
There is a paper mache snake.
It fucking does. And then
Yeah.
at the same time, there's a guy flying on a magic carpet.
Yeah.
Aladdin.
They should have had the girls go into Small World and be like, okay, so that's what Arabia's like.
So we're shooting those. Arabia.
We got all the things we need from Small World. I don't even need to go to the country. We're going to go film in Palm Springs. But for our research, we're going to break in.
Day 9 of your training is a trip to Disneyland.
Yeah.
They just got some illegally like stock footage of Small World and they're studying it, writing a script around it. Okay, well, they got magic carpet, snakes, wicker chairs, castles,
a rug.
I think I got it.
Like this almost took place in Denmark.
Maybe
Like, these are interesting.
Maybe that city you saw was just a painting on the back of Small World, like on one of the walls.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely possible.
And so then basically what happens is that the Marvin Miller steps on the tiger's tail and then attacks him. And then some of the girls break out and then they kick ass. And then they ask the Sheikh, they're like, hey, where's the sun? And then we'll let the tiger off you. Mm-hmm. And it's all done in ADR.
Because this cat sound is so loud that they had an ADR over it because you couldn't hear anything else.
Well, and then obviously Marvin Miller would not allow himself to be attacked by a tiger, or this really was his last role.
Oh,
No. We see who was being attacked by that tiger. And it was some little Asian or a little skinny guy.
The tiger, quote, wrangler.
Yeah.
And so he gives up the location, and they don't help him. And some girl just goes, bon appetit, kitty, and then they just walk out.
That's cold.
Then, for some reason, they're just walking around the desert.
Yeah, like Moses or some shit. And
Yeah.
like waiting for, you know.
I was like, so wait, there wasn't any cars or anything at the Sheikh's palace? Guess not. Not even a camel, nothing?
No, just had to.
How'd they get the girls there?
Man.
Don't ask these
This
questions.
thing falls apart under scrutiny.
I mean, we saw them with a muscle car earlier.
Yeah.
So
And the General Lee's in the shop.
one of the girls goes, what are we going to do, Jan? We only have 6 more hours to live. And I'm glad she could boil it down to an exact timeline.
Maybe that's how long it is until the plane leaves. Maybe that's what they were trying to
Maybe
get.
the line was
they were
supposed to
trying
be to leave.
By the way, they made that whole plane line like an hour and a half ago and never brought it up again.
Yeah.
That this
Yeah.
plane was only going to be there for a little bit of time.
So they see someone come up, and one girl says she saw this in Lawrence, Arabia, that some guy shot another guy or something. And then this guy comes up with camels who looks very confused, almost as if like he didn't know he was being in a movie.
No. He had no idea.
Like he comes up and he's speaking in Arabic, and the girls ask him, they go, where's the nearest telephone? Where can a girl get a cold drink around here?
Where's
And
the hotel?
one of the girls drinks from this water sack.
She thinks it's like camel piss.
Yeah, there is like a. Was there a spit take? I'm trying to remember if
Yo,
she
there's
actually
definitely a
did.
spit
take.
She does a spit take. It's
Yeah.
camel piss.
And Jan drinks some of it even after the camel piss line. She goes, no, it's just water in a goat sack.
Yeah.
It always tastes like this or something. It's like, I'm sorry?
What is Jen's backstory
Yeah.
here?
Has she been here before?
It's like the everything that surrounds this movie is more interesting than the movie.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like everybody's loose threads is much more interesting than what I'm seeing on screen. And then this one, so the Arab guy with the camels just seems very confused as like, why are these ladies drinking my water? And they're like, should we follow him? And he just kind of walks away like, no, goodbye. Then
Please leave me alone. Stop filming me.
Then for no reason, a flatbed truck pulls up. Like just so happens to drive in the middle of the desert. And it's another guy that speaks Arabic and no English, but then all of a sudden switches to English and looks like right down the barrel of the lens. It says, oh, come on, let's go. I can make a lot of money with you. And I'm like, are you sure you should get on that truck? I thought this was going to go somewhere. No.
Nope.
It does not.
We're back in the room.
Nobody was sold.
No. We're back in the room. The phone rings. Jan asks, okay, now I have a lot of problems with this. Now, the Sheikh told him that the son's being held at a villa, okay? And she asked the person on the phone, she goes, where is this villa? It's near a lake? Okay. Wait, hold on. She hangs up the phone, then she goes, wait, guys. What if the person on the phone is a bad guy? Because we've just been going around killing a bunch of innocent Arabs.
Yeah.
We really have committed a lot of atrocities. And we should probably get on that plane as quickly as we can to get out of this country before we actually end up in a jail for murdering lots of innocent men. But how are we going to trust that person on the phone? We got to go get that son tonight. And she's waking everybody up. And I go, well, if you don't trust the person on the phone, why would they tell you the directions to that villa?
Right.
It could be a trap mic.
But she never thinks of it, Chris.
Yeah, she never does.
She just goes like,
yeah.
Well, I'll believe everything they say, but wait a second.
Yeah.
Hasn't steered us wrong yet.
Yeah. Then we go to the desert. We're back at it again, right? Eventually we get to a lake, okay? They're going to swim this, quote, lake and get to what I write down as like the castle at the beginning of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh, yeah. It's the laboratory of Dr. Weird. Gentleman.
100% accurate.
That's apparently what? In the middle of the lake?
Yeah. Or it's above it? I couldn't tell.
I wrote
it's in the middle of the lake that's on like on a mountain in the middle of that lake.
I was like, it's either in the middle of the lake or they just didn't want to drive around the lake. Because then they all like pull out snorkels and fins and they're all in bikinis to swim what I put as like 100 feet.
I put exactly the same, 100 feet.
More of a moat.
I wrote that, there's more time spent putting on the gear than just swimming.
Or walking around. The goddamn fucking thing.
Yeah. They maybe could have just walked.
There's a ramp.
For some reason, they give this one girl a line like, hey, I wonder what's in the water. And they go, don't wonder.
She's like, oh, wait, no, honey, that's not in the script.
Anyone have any open cuts, sores?
Leeches?
Yeah, they all come out.
Got hit?
Yeah. They all come out looking like Rambo and Rambo 2. Just covered in leeches. So then we get into the castle, and we watch a scene of the girl sneaking through a vent for a good, 5 minutes.
Holy crap, this vent was so long. This vent scene.
We have to watch every girl in the cast go through this vent, and they all have to make some sort of comment. Like, every single one's like, it's wet in here. My knees hurt. Mm-hmm. It's wet in here. Do you think there's a rat? Like, every girl, all like 15 of them go through.
Yeah, I bet her knees hurt at the audition.
So basically, then they shoot 2 guys with 1 harpoon.
That was pretty good.
They sneak into the prison. They get the son. Or is what they think is, they keep asking him, they're like, are you so-and-so? And he never answers them.
Yeah, but he's the live one of the 2. So they're like, 50-50 chance.
Because they go to our favorite guy who's had a bad day. Yeah. And she unchains him and she goes, well, this guy's dead.
Really just the worst day.
And then they just go back, and apparently one of the girls was carrying a gas tank with her the whole way.
Yeah, apparently.
And they just blow up the castle in the most stock explosion footage.
Incredible.
They just like replaced where the castle was and put the footage over it. It was so...
And
they might as well have used the explosion from the beginning.
The shots of a burning building is so funny because it's so bad.
It's at night.
It's at night, yeah, for one. Yeah. And 2, it doesn't look. It looks like a house. It looks like they saw
Yeah,
a
it's 'cause-
fire in L.A.
Yeah, because there's
one
like
night.
it's wood. There's like wood in there, and the house is purely stone.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
Yeah.
wood frame that's on fire. Like they saw a building burning down the street. They're like, run, go get the camera.
It was the original writer's house, and the director set it on fire and said, "Write the rest of the script." and then he films it.
Through the Molotov.
And then they just they get onto a plane while it's still on the runway.
Yeah, but then people are chasing them. But I thought everybody's dead that was after them.
Yeah, no, they show up in their muscle car, and they apparently forgot to load the guns with actual bullets because there's a bunch of sounds of bullets, yet no actual bullets.
Right.
But best scene in the movie, a guy with an RPG.
Yes. He's kneeling down. He's like ready for the big shot. He's like, I'm gonna take this fucking plane down. I don't know if he gets to get the shot off, but before he even pulls the trigger, Sean, if there's a trigger button, sorry, the RPG projectile itself falls out the back for some reason.
Onto the ground.
It just goes like ding, 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 ding.
Well, it
ding,
would have been
ding.
a great cut if it falls on the ground and he looks back and looks at the camera and then they cut to an explosion.
That's what I thought was going to
Yeah.
happen, but no, he just is like, wait, was that supposed to happen?
Yeah.
And they're like laughing, going, ha, 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 keep it in.
Like a Wile E. Coyote cell where he looks
Yeah,
right at the
yeah.
screen.
He like shrugs.
I like this whole part where they're chasing down the plane. They got out of the car that was chasing the plane. Now the plane's still running down the runway, and like one girl gets in, then another girl, and then another girl, and then another girl, and then another girl.
And by the way, it's like a private plane that fits like four people,
yeah.
and like 15 of them are piling in.
You know, they can make it work with a tub.
Yeah.
They can work with this air tub.
And then they go back to the ambassador, and the secretary lets the ambassador know the girls are here. The son is back safe with the dad. The business guy's there.
Did the secretary also ask if their date is still on?
Yeah, she says something like, "Oh, is our date still on?" And he
He's
goes,
like, "It's
"Like
fucking-
always." So then the ambassador and Mr. Boom thank the girls for their efforts.
Does Mr. Boom get like a medal too? Like
Yeah.
Mr. Boom gets an envelope of cash.
Yeah, the antidote. And so then the business guy gives them their money, and Jan says there's something wrong. And she says something about how they kept wiping out innocent groups of Arabs because of these phone instructions.
She says no to the money, not unless you want a repetition of this kidnapping. And you're like, you have no idea what's going on here. And I don't think repetition would be the word for what she was trying to threaten with.
Well, I think she's like, well, he'll just get kidnapped again,
Yeah,
I guess. Although they've killed every Arab in the country, apparently. Every Arab terrorist in the country, terrorist or non-terrorist, is dead. All you need to wipe out ISIS is a few showgirls, you know. Just go send them around with some guns. And she says something at one point. She's like, I want to know who Deep Throat is.
And at this point, I'm like, they couldn't just let this movie end.
Yeah.
Watching this documentary in the hotel.
And then this business guy and the ambassador are like, what the hell are you talking about? And then the secretary comes in, and like you said, it's a Scooby-Doo.
It's a super Scooby-Doo. Jen just punches this girl and calls her Anton.
Well, because her name's Anna, and so she starts rolling through all these other A names.
And then she
Or
rips
is it Anton or Andre or Andy?
So she punches the girl, and the girl falls over onto the couch onto the commando girls, the Hell Squad. And she reaches over this girl's face and starts ripping it. And we're like, what the hell's going on?
Very
and we're
Austin
like,
Powers.
And they're actually pulling a mask. And it's some like old man.
It's old Mr. Winters.
Old man Jenkins from the amusement park.
Yeah.
Meddling showgirls.
And then they're like, Jan, how did you know? And she says, well, I was in the ladies' room after her, and she left the seat up. And you know, ladies, no lady leaves the seat up. It's only men. Movie ends.
Yeah.
No, there is a scene where the dad goes to his son. He says, we should get better acquainted and go to a quiet dinner together. And
Well,
I was
no,
like,
I think
wait,
that
what?
was his son picked up one of the pieces of the Hell Squad, and that's who he's going to date now.
Yeah, but the dad went up to the son and he says, you and I, son, should get better
Well,
acquainted.
they weren't seeing eye to eye in the opening of the
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. Over a
now
quiet
he's realized,
dinner.
yeah, let's get to know each other man to man.
And the son looks at him. He's like, Dad, do you want to fuck me now? Because you were fucking that male secretary? I don't understand.
Threesome.
And then I like the businessman cut at the end. He's like, hey, Jan, now that you're back, you want to date? And she goes, yeah, I'm going to need 2 years. And
da-da-da, 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 Then we get the credits where it shows pictures of everybody and their names, like we'll ever see them again.
Yeah.
This is a star-making role.
Everybody had such a hellacious time making this movie that they just all quit the industry simultaneously.
I get it.
So, guys, Let's hear it. Recommendations?
Not really.
Thank you.
Not really.
Thank you. No, do not watch it. Well, first off, good luck finding this movie.
Yeah.
Second,
It's just not worth the effort to find it and then watch it. There's a lot better ones out there like that aren't like I'd watch. Come on, like Night Force over this shit any day.
Oh well, Night Force is amazing. Don't get it confused with Night Patrol.
No,
but Night Force.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris. There's no movie better.
Do
than
not
Night
convince
Force.
them. I do not watch this.
I know.
Movie.
I'm just saying the ratio of effort to find this and watching it and end result, it's just not worth it to me, at least.
Bobby?
Yeah, I'm on the same page there. The payoff, it's an interesting curiosity, but there's a lot that I think accomplish the same things, maybe better.
Let's hear it, Mike.
I'm gonna say no. It's not worth seeking out. If somebody is uploaded online, I guess you can check it out if you're bored one day and you're like, what the fuck are they talking about in this show? It's certainly got some. I would say the first 20 minutes is laugh out loud hilarious.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I actually messaged Hughes and I was like, how did you not like this movie? And then I was like, oh my god, now I know why. Because later on you kept messaging me being like, this movie seems like 4 hours.
Man, does it wear out its welcome.
Yeah.
Like it is.
It cycles over itself 3 times.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It seems like such a first draft.
Yeah.
They're like, girls go on mission. All right. Just write that as a girls go on mission. All right.
Yeah.
Girls go on mission. All right. And then they forgot to film it in.
Yeah.
And the day they're shooting, like, oh, wait a second. That fucking screenwriter didn't write the scenes. Oh, shit.
Oh, we're going to burn his house later. I'm still glad we saw it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely bin worthy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I did talk to Chris when he was about 30 minutes into the movie today. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm watching the movie. It's great.
Yeah, I was still about 30 minutes.
Because I asked him, I said, how far are you into it? He's like, oh, about like 30, 40 minutes around. I'm like, oh, okay.
You got 6 hours left.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, right.
You hear that sound?
Oh,
Guys, how do you think Bobby and DeVito would fit into the world of Hell Squad?
Oh, boy.
Let's start with you, Hughes.
I think Bobby and DeVito stayed in Vegas, and when they lost all their showgirls, they weren't too upset. They go, now we get to do auditions again. And you
Casting couch, Bobby. Casting couch.
And you see the van door open. And it says, all welcome.
What do you think?
I think she stopped short of unmasking one of those girls. I think she forgot to unmask anymore. I think we only see it from behind, but you see a silhouette of an orange poof as she unmasks another one.
Stop short of unmasking another one.
And then another one she unmasks. She's about to unmask the other one, and you just hear, Bobby, run! And that's the end.
Bobby?
I see, their 10th day is up with their training, and they take off. And then on that same little desert base they have, DeVito comes walking around the corner dressed like a general, and a second van pulls up. And out of that van come 9 orange-haired gangly men. And he looks at them, he smiles and says, "Do you all have your rags?"
I could just see a scenario where those girls that didn't make the cut, Bobby and DeVito had made a some sort of deal with the general.
Yeah.
And they're like, can we have those broads that don't make it? And they're like, yeah, well, for national security's sake, we do have to murder all of them.
Yeah.
So giving them to you might as well disqualify as that. So they're going to end up on milk cartons anyways.
Why not let them go down with the ship?
You just see all the girls that didn't make the cut, and the just pulls up.
Oh, you're leaving in a different van.
DeVito opens the van dressed as like a magician, and he's like, "Come on in, girls. We got plenty of jobs for you in here. Plenty of jobs." And they all just pile in, and you know which one Bobby takes a liking to.
Oh yeah. Clown, circus tits.
I feel like somehow DeVito waves the wand and it maybe gets stuck in it like...
Or it pops.
Gets stuck in it all the joystick style.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks again for joining us on another episode of The Grindbin. And thank you, Randy, for rating and reviewing this show on iTunes. If you rate and review this show on iTunes, we will blind watch and review your movie as well. And in fact, we have a couple more to go. We just recently got another one, and he tweeted at me the name of the movies. We have a choice of what he wants us to cover.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'll send it over to you, Bobby, who's the aficionado. If I haven't heard of it, you probably have.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
Lunchwagon 2?
Oh, God. I feel like if there's ever Grindbin the movie, it will somehow become Lunchwagon 2.
There will be a parking spot scene.
Yeah.
Just as long as we never, like, if David from Australia donates money to this show again, and part of his stipulation is that we have to, instead of showing how every episode compares to the van, show how every episode relates to Lunchwagon, I'll quit this fucking show. But the audio commentary of Lunchwagon will be coming real soon. So. You guys got anything to plug?
I'm good.
Hughes, you got anything?
Yeah, let's plug some Twitters tonight. Twitter.com/Obsidian. These are the people that I do the charity streams for. Follow them and you'll get all the information about where we are, when we are streaming, and where all the charity money's going, all that kind of stuff. You can follow me at twitter.com/iodinelive. I've been talking to Mike about the referral links that we're getting from like people visiting the site, and where is there a Grindbin like community or forum that people are talking about us? We'd like to get involved with the community more.
Yeah, because
so if
every day there's hundreds of listens to this show, literal hundreds of listens.
Wow.
Some days thousands, and there's always a bunch of listens to like I showed you, a couple old episodes will have like, you know, a certain amount of downloads every day. So somebody's sharing them somewhere. Must be some sort of French website or some shit.
So if there is a online community that you would like to get us involved in, please reach out to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's never gonna happen though. We've been saying this for like the past year. We don't get a fucking breadcrumb whatsoever.
Well, it's out of thousands of people who listen to a show, 5 will contact you.
Yeah.
And boy, do we enjoy our 5 fans that contact us.
Every fan.
Hey David.
Nice.
Hey Sean.
Hey Randy.
Hey Chuck.
Hey Chuck.
I contacted you and now I'm on the show.
Yeah, there you go.
So I told you anybody could be on the show.
That's why we just named 4 just
I'm
now.
still looking for the door.
Oh, we did get mailed a movie today.
Oh yeah.
From our good friend. How do you pronounce his name?
What have you? It's not-
Faustus.
Faustus.
Dr. Faustus.
Dr. Faustus,
Yeah.
PhD. He sent us some great artwork that he made, as well as a very interesting movie that we're going to have to watch. And I told him we'd blind watch it and put it on the show.
100%.
So guess
Absolutely,
what?
yeah.
We're going to fucking do it.
I'm excited for it.
And this could be a whole nother Bruce Lee scenario.
God, no.
And the stipulation is Hughes does have to watch it. He's been trying to get out of bad episodes, but I cannot wait until Hughes hates a movie. I cannot wait, because people on this show have never heard rage until they hear Hughes complain about a movie.
Oh, I can pick some stuff for him.
Might as well just watch The Skeleton of Cadabra. That movie scarred me like 20 years ago, and I'm still pissed.
The movie's not that bad.
Oh,
It was terrible.
Hughes had a fucking... He just could not deal with it. He could not watch that movie.
Wow.
Meltdown. I almost was no longer friends with Mike because of that movie.
It almost ended.
I'm
this
trying to
friendship.
watch it, and he just won't shut the fuck up. He's like,
It's just physically pain.
Jesus Christ.
Transforming into a werewolf.
All right, well, that's all I got. Grindhousefilm.com. We're on Twitter at GrindPod, Instagram, The Grindbin Podcast, Facebook, The Grindbin Podcast.
Hit subscribe. Ba.
And you can follow. You can probably be friends with us on Facebook. I'm sure we'll accept you.
Totally.
All the randos, just come forward. We don't know where you come from. We'll just auto.
I interact
We
with
love
plenty of
randos.
Grindbin listeners
yeah.
on a regular basis.
Hey, if you're listening to us, you're already friends of ours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically,
serious.
yeah.
Be friends with us on Facebook, and you can see all our great political posts.
Be friends with us briefly on Facebook.
Somebody end it.
Bobby, run!
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
This book ain't got no real poetry.
Hello, pizza man.